So I'm very passionate about this topic, about school and education, right? Uh, Oftentimes, when you're going after something that you love or passionate about, or something you want to solve in the world, or um, to create something that didn't exist before, um, it's your dream is very educational in itself because you get to do hands-on, you get to learn the skills that you didn't learn in school. It's very different from classroom to was it the real world, right? And it's not easy because the classroom you're taking the test, while the real world you're doing hands-on and the things that you do. See, the thing is, people think about grades, right? Oh, it's not the end of the world. You can still retake it, right? The exams, the tests. But in the real world, one fuck up or one mess up, you can't repeat it. And you have to learn from the lesson. And if you don't learn it and you make that mistake again, that's on you. Now, the in this world, we think the education or the educated are the one who are very smart, do well in class, or more a academic type, and they don't oftentimes don't get in trouble. But what is truly educated individual? For me, I believe that true educated individual are the one who do something to create the world that they want to create or pave the way to their own path. Um, because oftentimes when you pave the way of your own path, your dreams are most time are more uh, it's like deep learning curve. Like you learn so many from your failures and successes than you do in classroom. I could tell you that from my experience, that through going the journey of interviewing, doing my dream, creating videos, um, it it take me to a whole new level that school couldn't take me, and it make me try to uh, push my what was it, my fears, because I do have fears, everybody does. And that's the whole point, pushing through your fears. And so in this book, it talk about take control of your education means that you have no one to blame but yourself. You can't blame your professor or your parents or your peers. You're responsible for your own success and failure. So when you, I don't think that the day that you graduated or not graduated from high school or college is that you are responsible for your own education. Now, if you say you didn't have a good education, then it's up to you now to create that outcome. Because it starts now, not tomorrow, not later. It's now. Because the ripple effect that the educational program that you install for yourself, because nobody gonna tell you you should learn the skill. Nobody gonna push you to learn uh, the things that you need to learn to build a dream. Because to build a dream, you need to learn a whole lot of things that you didn't even learn before. I mean, shit. Uh, I to go this path, I didn't know that I had to learn a lot of things that I didn't need to learn, right? Whatever those video marketing or the key to what's in, the things that most often time the people who want to build a future or build a dream aren't. See, most people have a vision, a dream, a passion of theirs, right? But oftentimes they're missing a key, meaning their dream, like a dream they should have, right? And they should go for it. But oftentimes they didn't learn, they need to learn the things that they don't want to learn to get to their dream. And that's what often frustrates me, that I want to tell them that if you want this dream of yours, regardless, the dream that you have is an education of itself, because this is your dream, this is your life. And that dream has the potential to change you. Even though you're chasing the dream, or you're building the dream will push something that you never thought possible, meaning your fears, your self-doubt. Can you do it? You almost talk yourself out of it, or um, you don't know if this can or a miracle happen, or it's only for the few who's lucky. But you have to prove to yourself that this is worthy of you. Can you make this happen? Or you're willing to let that fear, self-doubt, to stop you from that. So in this book, it talks about going to college is to meet to be the curriculum of 12 years of hard work, determination, and study. You're told that if you get good grades, ace the SAT, and do a lot of uh, extra curriculum, you get into a good university. Everyone tells you that college graduate earns more and are less likely to be unemployed. Now, that's false because we most people who have a high degree would be employed or they can't find a job. You hear many of that stories, right? Now, look, I'm not trying to defend or I'm just saying that most people, because I hear this from my friends a lot, a high, they want to take a job that has high salary. But in my opinion, here's the thing, if you take a high job, high salary, but if you don't love it, if you're not passionate about it, or if you're not learning from it, or it's not giving you a good educational system, you're just selling your soul for money. Like it's good. You got to know yourself. You got to know what moves you, what drive you. If money drive you, you should do that. But if you what drive you is something far vastly different, it's gonna crush your soul, regardless of how much money you make. Because people have to know themselves. So education, right? So we were programmed and taught that I think that you should always be education yourself or whatever, learning whatever, to uh, because the one who build their dreams or the one who create a better world, uh, or they're always like I'm fascinated by the people who are always hungry for knowledge or hungry to learn, whether it's hands-on or experience. They're always hungry. It's just that spark. It's like they have something within them that sparked the curiosity to learn. Like I remember in book Jim Rohn said these people who are successful, they always read, or they're always learning something new. Because most oftentimes, school or educational system, it's not enough to get you past through it. You know, I wish that these lessons were instilled in school system, right? That we that these the school system should let us watch motivational educational video that because you need motivation, you need educational, you need something that you need something a passion of yours to move you towards something because your dream will teach you far more, or doing the dream or building a dream will teach you far more than a classroom will ever will, right? Uh, and that should be enough. Like, but the world is revolve around money. Money is important, but what do you want to do? What do you want to leave with? Like a lot of people talk about legacy, right? Like Gary Vee, he want to leave a legacy, or people want to change the world, or people just want to change people, or improve the system or something. You know, when we talk about education, and almost time people think about education meaning reading, writing, all the logical stuff. But it's I don't think that's to the extreme, right? That people care about these stuff or the academic. But I care more is that some way somehow you can combine these two using your imagine, because most people when you're daydreaming class, They tell you to stop daydreaming and kill your daydream, kill your imagination, or when you fantasize. Often, when you fantasize, it brings you to a place that never existed before, because in your uh, building in the imagination, right? You're building something. You can switch on this imagination world, because it's a world. But imagine this: there's nothing there, but you can place objects. You can create distorted space. You can bend space if you wanted to. You can even create a black hole. You can even create in your mind a powerful blast that will penetrate through walls and buildings. Or you can turn into superhero. You can do anything with your imagination. While your logic, see, here's the thing. Imagination knows no bounds or limits, right? While the logic side, no limits, right? It hold the imagination in place and never let go. So I think it's about combining these powerhouses, because they are powerhouses, to create something beautiful. Oftentimes we don't do that. So the school system educate the students and people to stop using their imagination, to be real. See, oftentimes the imagination is the greatest gift to mankind, because out of the imagination and the heart, you create something that didn't exist before. So the imaginations are the key, not just to the world, but it's the key to success, right? The imagination are more, it's like you can bend it, you can mold it the way that you want it to. And it's oftentimes unrealistic, because that's what an imagination is. It's unrealistic. While the logic side seem the physical, the realistic side. So you have to somehow merge these together to find its pathways, right? So we often lose that. So oftentimes teachers, I don't know about teachers, but if school teach student to not fail, to be a perfectionist, right? And to always get A's without, back in the day, I have fucking D's. Man, I have D's. Well, that's because I don't try, right? Usually when you try, to do it, to do the grades, you probably do well, right? If you give your best, if you put forth the effort. If you don't, you're gonna get D's. So I didn't really care for much, so I get D's and F because I'll be skipping school. Actually, skipping school was highly in my day. I was like, hey, if all the student, if all the student get to do homework and stay get in class and do the boring stuff while I play, like, go to sleep or play video games, I'm cool with that, right? Anyway, I think that the most educated person would be the one that are building the dream, using uh, hands-on experience. Oh yeah, failures. So we are often taught that failures is a no-no, right? While and that we should avoid it at all costs, so we don't test. Like, I don't. People don't become great. Like, people don't become great mad scientists, right? They don't test. They don't testing. They don't push themselves to test things. It's like, maybe I should try this. What would happen? Like, they don't say what would happen. They said, damn, I'm kind of scared to fail because it hurts. It's painful. Of course, failures is not like all like fucking gold. But if you fail, you might learn something, and you repeat it enough, you see patterns. So oftentimes we don't test, right? Like most people, the people who succeed in this world, or successful, quote unquote successful people, they fail, they test, right? They love testing, right? Because they want to see what will happen. It's like you push a button to see what happened. So oftentimes people don't do that. We tell them don't fail. See, failure should be your number one priority to gain pattern recognition, to gain a pattern, to see something that you didn't. Because there is, in all the lesson in your past, has something that you can learn from it, but we could not see it. There is a pattern. Why something works, why something doesn't work. There is a pattern. And that's why Thomas Edison fell a lot. Because he fell his way to success. Like Les Brown said, you fail your way to success. Because no matter the time how you fail, because once you reach so many failures, you're going to get pissed. When you fail and have frustration, you're going to get pissed and you're trying to learn from it. And it pushes you. It pushes you to learn. It pushes you to seek out information that's going to help you to succeed. Right? And we wasn't taught that. We're taught to be perfect, but perfect doesn't give you a head start. Perfect, it's like people brag about being okay. People brag about that. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. Well, it's better to fail in your dream and then learn from it and build that from up, better than not trying at all. It's like, which one is better? Grades or paper, or building something tangible, something like will have a huge effect on your future, and from who it's going to have a much more effect who you're going to become than those grades. Because those dreams, those failures that you have are stepping stones, not just to success, but it's building who you will become. And so you develop this courage to do it, to do your dreams, because it's so vastly different from, because the classroom, when teacher teach you, it has no purpose. You think it does because you think it's going to give you a good job. It doesn't give you motivation because you think it's going to give you a good grade so you won't get yelled by your parents, because it's not enough. See, when either you're graduated or you're done graduating or you get kicked out of high school or whatever, the moment that you quit learning or educating yourself, you will go down, what's that called? Go down the path that you do not want. And that is your broken dreams, right? Broken, not broken dream, but the dream that you've forgotten. So you haven't make that real. It does, and it doesn't push you to do it because you're afraid of what might happen. But you don't know what will happen. You might succeed in that. You might live and see that your dream to fruition. But because you didn't took the time to take one more step forward and keep building that momentum, because every thing that you do matter. Like, people talk about success, but success is their own version of dreams, because we all have dreams. Success means to different people. It's up to you to create the success, because success, people think, is the people who have it figured out, but the successful people or are more able to learn and be open-minded than more the educated. The people who stop think they're educated and not follow. See, I think that education or school could hold a person back from living their greatest dream ever, because they're afraid to fail. Because they're afraid. Failure is the greatest thing on earth, and yet we don't praise enough. We said we should avoid it. The thing that you learn outside of the classroom is much more meaningful. The work that you're gonna do, the dream, like the dream that you have, if you do it with meaningful purpose and you have purpose and drive, that is creating success for you. As a person, you develop a more vibrant, more energetic livelihood that you get to do. And not many people get to do that because they're afraid of what might happen. So they 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 will die and never figure out. You don't want to be the person who die and never figure out. Or you don't want to be the person who never tried and fail and to see what will happen. You don't want to be that. It's time to die and live your dream. Because you're going to die for your dream. If you're not, it's going to be scary. That's all I got today.